Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in on this TGIF open line show where you get to be the co-host and we get to talk about the week that was. And boy, do we have a lot of ground to cover. Here's how you can get involved in today's show. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. We are also coming to you live on YouTube on our official YouTube channels. You can check us out on Cable Bahamas channel 974, and you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. The numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. A huge welcome to all of you who are listening in by way of radio, whether it be here in New Providence, in Grand Bahama, the Family Islands, and all of you who are tuned in from around the world. Thank you so much for making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. So, you all know the drill by now. This is Friday, and every Friday we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. The week that was, yes. I'd like to look at some of the top stories of the week, but if you have a burning desire to talk about some of the social ill or whatever that was not covered during the week, hey, this is your show as much as it's mine, and I am certainly open to it within reason. We're never going to allow you to use this platform to slander anybody or to say anything libelous, because that's just pretty much irresponsible. And whereas, those of you out there might be able to get away with saying things by hiding behind social media, we don't get that luxury on radio. We're not going to allow you to just, say something libelous. Okay, so keep that in mind when you want to make a contribution to the show. Okay, so this week, what do we got to talk about? Well, I pulled a couple of things. I want to start with this one, though. And I think I should be able to, there's no audio on this, so I think I should be able to talk over it while I show you guys the video. Um, According to today's Guardian and other sources that I would have received information from, there's going to be a major shakeup in immigration. So, I'm just pulling this up here. Department to get new director. Let me go ahead and put the video up while I read a little bit of this article that appears in the Guardian. So, the article says the Department of Immigration, which has been mired in controversy in recent months, is set to get a leadership change, with Acting Director of Immigration Keturah Ferguson to be placed on leave and then retired, according to high-level sources familiar with the developments. The Guardian was told that Deputy Director Dwight Benaby was also being considered for or offered a package for early retirement, and reportedly, former Director of Immigration William Pratt is being brought back to fill that post once again. There were no formal announcements of the anticipated changes up to last night. The moves will come days after Prime Minister Philip Davis announced that the embattled Keith Bell was reassigned as Minister of Labor, of Labor and Immigration, and is a new Minister of Housing and Urban Development. Now, William Pratt, you may recall, back in 2016, was named as a person who was a part of an investigation by the FBI with regard to a work permit scandal in that Department of Immigration. And I will read to you from an article that appeared on the Eyewitness News website. This would have been November 13, 2018, when it says former Director of Immigration William Pratt has denied any involvement of a work permit scheme that facilitated an alleged fraud visa ring as outlined in court documents for a U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation report. In a statement released Monday, now this is back in 2018, Pratt said it has been brought to his attention that by implication and calling his name directly, a man before the criminal courts had made an allegation of impropriety against him in an untested affidavit. The affidavit, he said, is replete with hearsay and speaks of impropriety of his work in public office as the Director of Immigration, but Pratt noted in the issued statement that he does not know the individual. I have never sold or received bribes for any permits or anything else in my 5 years as director. I have never met Edward Israel St. Hill. I never knew what he looked like until a photo produced to me online purporting to be him was shown to me. Again, I'm reading from an article that appeared in 2018. Pratt said that he stands by the integrity of any decision that he made with regard to work permits or immigration applications. The applications, he said, are considered based on information that is received, which must justify that request. And then they quoted him as saying, it is unjust to permit this kind of loose, untested allegation to come into the public domain, which sullies my character and integrity without any opportunity to refute it. The damage has been done, and now it is left for me to use my personal resources to seek redress by having to prove a negative. I am appalled. I denounce this and reject it. I will seek whatever legal means are available to me. Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Senator Fred Mitchell, who served as immigration minister while Pratt was director, also denied knowledge of any impropriety. He called on government to remedy the situation and demanded an explanation from U.S. officials. And now this is quoting Mr. Mitchell. Again, this article appeared in 2018. Even if we are not interested in protecting the names of these individuals, these public servants, it is the government of the Bahamas whose reputation is at stake, Mitchell said. They must demand what are the facts behind this. Those names should have been redacted. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, again, this is from an article in 2018, was also questioned on these allegations yesterday, but he refused to respond. And then there appears an item from, what year would this have been? Well, this one was from 2017, where it says, Minnis tells current immigration director pack his bags for reassignment and make way for new director of immigration. So this same man who was named in an investigation by the FBI, which he, as you would have heard in that article, denied any involvement in an alleged scheme, but he was named in this investigation by the FBI back then as being involved in an alleged visa fraud scheme at the Department of Immigration. This is the man who, according to reports, will now replace the persons who are being removed from immigration under this, I guess, shakeup across the board, because we saw a shakeup in cabinet where Minister Bell, who was responsible for immigration and came under fire for what he himself called unorthodox activities on his part in immigration as it relates to the issuance of citizenship to foreign nationals under unorthodox circumstances. So now, the same gentleman whose name came up during this investigation by the FBI in 2018, although he denied any involvement at the time, is now being put over that department once again. I don't know what came out of the investigation, but I find it very interesting that this same man is now being brought back into immigration to head that department. Now, there have been allegations that have flown around with regard to the time that Bell was there and the persons who are being asked to leave now from the department standing up against what they believed was improper behavior, or let me just use the word unorthodox, since that's the word that Bell himself used, on the part of the minister. So there were leaked documents that some of these same people who are now being asked to leave, where they went on record to say, we have a problem with what this minister is doing. And when that whole thing went public with the recording of the minister talking about, he issuing citizenship at a doggone funeral, because he promised a dying man that's what he was going to do. And we still haven't received any evidence as to whether or not the dying man was eligible for citizenship, and if so, under what conditions. So yet, how his family became eligible, there's still a question out there as relates to that. And then all of these documents were leaked showing where persons at the head of the department were taking issue with some of the activities of the minister as Minister of Immigration. And now we see where these people are being asked to leave. And now the person whose name came up during an FBI investigation several years ago about visa fraud involving the Department of Immigration is now being put back there. It raises questions. I'm sorry to say it, but it does. Yes, he vehemently denied any involvement in the um, alleged ring that was taking place, and he vowed to defend his name. But yet, this is the same person who is now being pegged, according to the article in The Guardian, as the person who's going to be put back over immigration. Now, I didn't have time to dig deeper to see if I could find out whether or not he did, in fact, fight this through the courts and whether or not he won that fight, because all of this information just came to me like very short time ago, and I haven't had a chance to dig any deeper as yet to see how that was actually resolved. So if anybody has any information that they can share as to whether or not he did in fact go to court to try to clear his name, and if in fact he did, whether or not he was successful in clearing his name, I would like you to share that information with us today. Because again, I did not have time, admittedly, before the start of today's show, to go and dig through to find that information. What I did find was the article about him saying that, he was being wrongfully accused and that he would fight it to, because his name had been sullied, he would fight it. That's as far as I got before I was able to get on air, before I had to come on air at 2:00. So if you know something out there, you have evidence now, not speculation, about him taking it before the courts and winning that case, then please share that information with us. I just find it to be very, I'm trying to find the right words here. I just don't know if it's a smart decision, if this is in fact the case, to put that same man back in that position. Unless he would have gone before the courts, won his case, proved that that he was in fact wrongfully accused. And again, if anybody has any information towards that, and please quickly advise us. But in the absence of that information, I just don't know if it's a good idea to put that same man back in the position of being responsible for the immigration department, especially when you letting these people go, and perception would suggest that maybe them being let go had something to do with the information that was leaked about them standing up to the minister and saying what you're doing is wrong. We have a call on the line. JD, welcome to GPS.
God bless you. Good afternoon, Michelle.
Hi.
Afternoon to Bahamas. I agree with your point just now that you made. I honestly think that anytime you have a director or a minister or a permanent secretary, for example, who might have been caught up in anything actual or have been allegations would have been made against them that would have had a bad or very negative reflection on their job or ministry, he or she ought not to ever be considered again for that position. Because it's like trying to out a fire, but you're putting gasoline on it. Either you're going to out the fire with water, so it can go out completely, or you can just let the fire keep on burning. Because if you try to out the fire, in this case removing a minister, who did some things inappropriately, and then you're going to put back a director who allegedly did some wrong things. That's like putting fuel on the fire. Then you're not really solving the problem. You're not solving the problem. You're just transferring the concerns from one place in that ministry to the other. So I support your notion that with this one, if it is true that that gentleman is being put back, then it's truly a very unwise decision by. Is it the prime minister's decision for that move, or that's the public service commission?
I'm not sure who would have made the decision.
Okay.
I would think that it would come from at least the cabinet level. I'm not sure, though. I can't say for sure. But at the very least, the minister.
I hope that they are listening and will listen to wisdom. Please, sir, if indeed it is the minister's decision to make that move in respect to that former director, Mr. Sayers, you have the public watching you, of course. Please do the right thing by your own legacy. If for no other reason, do something right and proper by putting a completely brand new individual in that position of directorship at the ministry.
I would just think that would be a wise thing to do. Just me speaking of my opinion. I mean,
clean slate. Clean slate.
Clean slate.
Yeah,
if
man.
we are serious about what we say we're serious about, because what I think these politicians don't realize sometimes is actions speak louder than words.
Louder than words.
Get up and talk about what you intend to do and what you plan to do and what you hope to do and what you. But if your actions ain't showing that,
nobody can trust you.
Ain't nobody listening to you.
Not at all.
See what you doing. We ain't want to hear what you got to say.
Exactly.
Nobody can say anything.
My real reason for calling today, though, and I have not heard the latest on Hurricane Lee. Any idea as to where that hurricane is now, as far as we're concerned here?
I don't know, but the last reports that I received is that it's not a direct threat to us. Not to say that we won't feel some of its effect, but it will not be a direct threat to the Bahamas. The last time I checked.
Thank God for that, because that's what I've been hearing too. It's not gonna. But you know what that brought to mind, though. You remember when Hurricane Dorian, in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian, how that some Bahamians were saying about the Abaconians, "Good for you now," as if Abaco is not a part of the Bahamas. They were really, really coming down hard on Abaconians when they were suffering under Dorian. And I believe it might have been you or someone else who would have said, "Folks, these are your fellow Bahamians out there suffering. Have a heart." Michelle, God forbid if a Hurricane Lee was to hit Nassau, people tend to forget that even though we are spread over thousands or hundreds of thousands of miles in some cases, the Bahamas is still one country.
Right.
What affects one part of this country directly or indirectly affects the other part of it. And I felt so badly years ago after Dorian when I heard Bahamians, coming down on Abaconians when they were suffering, telling them that's good for them and all of them things. Come on, man, you don't do things like that. Just like the saying goes, today for me, tomorrow for you. And I wouldn't be surprised if God is allowing that hurricane to come so close to the Bahamas to give us a wake-up call.
Well, if Dorian didn't give us a wake-up call, I don't know what else will.
But Michelle, a lot of us has fall asleep quick after the wake-up call. Many of us pretend and tend to we go about our business like a Dorian never happened. So anyway, like I said, that's really my real reason for calling it, because I don't much pay attention to radio anymore, Michelle, because there's just too much negative stuff out there that I'm just tired of it. I can't deal with the negativism anymore. So Thank you for giving me that update on Lee. Have a good day.
Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
All right, we have quite a few comments that are coming up on Facebook. Bernal Ferguson says, I don't remember that, but okay, next call. Getting back to what we were talking about earlier with this whole situation with immigration. It don't look good. I don't know who does make these decisions, how they just come to these conclusions and think it's a good idea, or if they just think people ain't gonna know, or people ain't gonna remember, or they are law unto themselves and whatever they decide, that's it. And who cares what the people think? I don't know what the logic is, but it don't look good. And again, if anybody has any information about whether or not the gentleman in question was able to take his case before the courts and receive the results that he would have been seeking to try to clear his name, I don't know. And if anybody has information as to whether or not that took place, please share it with us. Because like I said, I didn't have time today to dig to find that if it does exist. But with all of this controversy surrounding the Department of Immigration, I would think it don't take a genius to figure out that if you decided that you're going to move these people, you should come back with a clean slate. Why you think it's okay to come back with somebody whose name was already mixed up in some kind of controversy? Only God knows. Only God knows. Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from the Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister as to why, during the shuffle, in his estimation, Bell's name was still involved in having a role as a Minister of Government. Because some people are asking the question, why he's still in cabinet? We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GBS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Weston, Lux, fuel, track life, tough, rough racing, velocity, mud, all-terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Less is love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this TGIF Open Line Show, where we talk about the week that was. How do you get your voice heard? Well, that's easy enough. The telephone numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. If you haven't already done so, please like and share the show. And we're also streaming live to YouTube. And you can find us on Cable Bahamas Channel 974 or download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. Huge welcome to all of you tuned in by way of radio, whether it's from New Providence, Grand Bahama, the rest of the Family Islands, and especially a huge welcome to all of you who are watching from outside the country. I really appreciate you all for being here today. All right, TGIF Open Line Show every Friday around these parts. We get you to help me out here, help me with some of the heavy lifting. You're going to play the role of co-host today, and that means that whichever direction you sort of point us in, I'd be willing to go there within reason. Because some of us are a little special sometimes. So within reason. I think it's important to say that, whatever you guys want to talk about. But you know me, I like to be prepared. And so I pulled a bunch of clips just in case you all decide to hi-hat me today. When is the last time you heard that word? My grandma used to use that word, hi-hat. I got to look that up. I don't even know that's a real word, but anyhow. Yeah, in case you all decide to hi-hat me today, I pulled some clips about what we can talk about. And one of the things that I pulled was this whole question of why Bell's still in the cabinet. Because people thought, this shuffle coming up, that certain people was going to find themselves out of the deck because of all of the controversy surrounding them. But instead, what the Prime Minister decided to do was move Bell from one hot button ministry, immigration, to another hot button ministry, which is housing. And there's already speculation, I heard, about how this all comes together based on some agenda. I've heard it. So, why did the prime minister decide to keep Bell in his cabinet in spite of all of the controversy coming out of that department? Well, Latre Ramming, who is the director of communications at the office of the prime minister, had opportunity to sit with Shanique Miller on her show, Beyond the Headlines, a couple of nights ago. And Shanique put the question to him as it relates to why Bell is still hanging around. And here's how he responded to that.
If you look at it, the Prime Minister speaks to his priorities and realigning his cabinet on those priorities. And Minister Bell is a part of that priority. I think he has a rich history with the urban renewal. He was identified in earlier time on how he actually made it to cabinet. I know in the previous Christie administration, he served as Minister of State. And it's because of that track record. But I think also, I won't get into the conversation of who define what are scandals. I think these are incidents the government has already spoken to. I would say that from his record as minister, he had the highest amount of repatriations under him. I think he certainly increased the minimum wage. He has the lowest unemployment in 15 years and the lowest amount of employment in a long period of time. So I think there's a lot of success that we can look at too.
Okay. Shanique also had opportunity to question him about Joe Beth and why she is Joe Beth Colby Davis, sorry. I want to show respect to the office. And why she is also remaining in cabinet, even though she was involved in a lot of, I don't want to use the word scandal, but there was a lot of questioning as to some of the decisions that she made while in the portfolio that she's now vacated to move to another portfolio. So here's what Mr. Ramming had to say with regard to the keeping of Jobeth Colby Davis in the cabinet.
Her performance speaks for herself. Her background speaks for herself. If you want to get the job done, you bring someone with the background. She has the background. She has a proficient history and energy. I also think that what's important for people to know is she get the job done. I don't see this. Others may define it, and I don't know why they would see it as that way. I think this is the Prime Minister indicating.
You don't think
I think
even filed for
and
in terms of being just a real tough nut to crack.
And I think
lots going on
and
there.
I think this is the Prime Minister indicating and signaling to the Bahamian people that he has confidence in Joe Beth's ability to get the job done.
Your thoughts on this? Do you believe that the Prime Minister was wise to keep those two individuals around? And I was talking to it was C. Alan Johnson with regard to the size of the cabinet and how many backbenchers are left. And one of the challenges that the Prime Minister faced is that he got practically everybody in the cabinet. He got a very shallow backbench because everybody already in the cabinet. So if you say that he's going to sit these two down, who are you going to bring up? Who is on the backbench? Keep in mind that according to our law, because her husband is in the gaming industry, that makes Leslie Miller Price unable to serve in cabinet based on our laws. So she's not an option. So who else you gonna bring up? Because you already got everybody in the cabinet. So if you sit them two down, does that mean you will have to split up those responsibility and give those responsibilities that they would have had and give them to other persons already in the cabinet? These are some of the things that the Prime Minister faces. So I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on the shuffle. Some people saying, it was a losing hand to begin with. He pretty much just moved one set of losing cards to the next position, but it wasn't what they consider to be uh, a shuffle that will be productive because of the fact that you got the same people just moved around. But I pretty much thought that's what a shuffle was. But you can in a shuffle bring people up and sit people down. The challenge, I think, is because the bench is so shallow and by way of numbers, not by way of, I'm not in any way saying that the people who are eligible in the backbench to serve do not have the capacity to do so. That's not what I mean by shallow. But so shallow in terms of numbers that that limits his options. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you believe that the prime minister should have found some kind of way to not involve Bell at the cabinet level anymore? Do you think that the uh, revelations that came forward out of the Department of Immigration while he was minister were sufficient to ask him to step down from cabinet? Or is the prime minister right on track with regard to the changes that were made um, in his cabinet? There were at least two ministers that even the opposition had to say um, were deserving of positions because of their track record. And those two persons that they named were Chester Cooper, who remains in charge of tourism and investments, and also Pia Glover-Roll, who was elevated from the position of Minister of State to substantive minister in her area. And no matter how you feel about those two individuals, you have to admit that they they are doing a stellar job. Not to say that others aren't as well, but those two in particular were listed even by the opposition as persons who are doing a great job. So I'm not saying that the prime minister doesn't have some good folks in there, because he does, you know, but is keeping those two around, particularly Bell, who was involved in so much controversy just prior to the shuffle, a wise idea. Bertha says, PM said, shuffle the cabinet, not fire the cabinet. You got to ask the questions. Caller on the line. Welcome to GPS.
Happy Friday, Michelle. How are you?
I'm excellent. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You should see me holding on, turning to the station for your show, hearing all this nice music. So now, Michelle off today. And I looked, the voice came on. It was the other station.
Oh dear. How you make that mistake?
all this was he said kick it for a couple of minutes today. But in reference to the shuffle and the question that you asked in reference to Mr. Bell, especially Mr. Bell, at the end of the, I guess the Prime Minister sat down. I'm sure he thought of these the shuffle when he was shuffling the deck. He put a lot of thought in it. And when you look at the point where we are in this country and the position that he was in, with Mr. Bell, I think he can't at this time. He's saying probably, what have I got to lose in reference to the, as far as everything is the end game, the election. Okay, damn if I do, damn if I don't. So what you do, I think he's trying to utilize and reposition those persons in areas that they are most proficient in reference in terms of Mr. Bell, where he sent him back with urban renewal, and I don't think housing was with urban renewal the last time Minister Bell was there. Okay, and I think that was one of the main reasons why he put him there. sent him there, and Mr. Sayers at immigration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I heard some stuff going on up there as well right now internally as far as with more shuffling going on in the whole department.
Okay.
But I that's how I feel in reference to him. But the biggest concern that concerns me, but and back to Minister Bell, we'll see what we'll see as we go, and I'm sure we'll all, be ready and aim and waiting to see how we moves in that ministry, those ministries. But as far as my biggest concern, like we discussed it last week or earlier this week, is education.
Mm.
He moved the state minister in education and sent him to, I think, the environment, and left that spot open. I don't think people say, but the director or the permanent secretary can in reference to with the minister of education, but right now with the state of education, I think, and I don't normally agree with Mr. Sands, Dr. Sands,
Right. Mm-hmm.
but in this instance, I agree. There should be a minister of state in the Ministry of Education.
Mm.
We can't expect and look for the minister that was the minister to do, to be all the end all and be it all and end all in reference to that. And I think that there should be, like Minister Laroda, State Minister Laroda is there in his office, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, we don't know. I haven't heard anything as to, what his responsibilities are. But there should be someone in education. There should be a minister of state with the environment. Someone, you have a minister and a minister of state and environment. I don't know why that is. So I think going forward, I think we need, at least I need, a clearer understanding as to why we do not have a minister of state, a competent minister of state in education to assist, because we need all hands on deck at that particular in that particular ministry. The Ministry of Health, Minister Darby is doing a good job in reference to manning that area with his team. But the state that education is in, that there should be a minister of state, and that's fine to me. I mean, the thing with Minister Bell, yes, that's going to be questionable or whatever, but education is very, very much important, important to me, and I really think we need another minister of state in there filling that void. If you're going to pay someone to be somewhere else, replace them, put something else in that slot.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to say. But have a safe and an enjoyable weekend, Michelle.
Thank you. You too do so as well. Education is a huge portfolio to be responsible for. I don't believe that it's any mistake that for years education received the lion's share of the budget, because I think successive administrations have realized how important a vibrant education system is to the future of our country, our survival in an ever-changing world. Much of it has to do with the level of education that we're offering to our kids, because we are going to have to be competitive, not just amongst each other, but in the way that the world is moving now, with AI and all the other technological advancements and changes that are happening so quickly around the world. We're going to need to be putting out young people who can live in the real world with all of these new developments. And if you can't basically, just manage simple things, how you going to manage the complex ones? So I agree that education needs more attention and should have someone there to assist the minister, um, because that is a heavy load to carry. Uh, we have somebody saying, Fred Mitchell, this is Frank McKinney making this comment on Facebook. Fred Mitchell is now questioning why the Port Authority in Freeport is educating the people in Freeport about the Hospital Creek Agreement. Okay. Speaking of education, the president of the Union of Teachers, Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, was recently in the news this week complaining that some Cuban teachers have been brought in because we do have one of the challenges facing the education department is the limited number of local teachers. And so she is saying that they brought in teachers from Cuba to help, fill the gap. And they're grateful for the help. There's only one challenge. These people who they speak ain't too good, who they brought in ain't too good with the English language. And this, according to Wilson, is creating a problem. Here now is that clip.
We are grateful for our colleagues from Cuba coming to the Bahamas to help to shore up our educational system. However, within the last few days, I would have received concerns from several schools where some of the new Cuban teachers that just arrived within the last few weeks, there seems to be a language barrier, and some of them are having difficulty speaking the English language. So some of the students have raised the issue and teachers have raised the issue. And we will definitely have to have further discussions because we really need the teachers. But if there is a language barrier where the children are unable to understand what they're saying, or they're unable to understand what the children and the teachers are saying, then it's counterproductive. So we, as I said earlier, we're really, the Bahamas Union of Teachers, we are grateful for our colleagues from Cuba. But once a complaint comes to the union or a concern, we must follow up. And so definitely we'll keep a close eye on this situation and we'll be able to give further updates in the upcoming days.
Well, in response to these claims, educational officials say that the panel responsible for the selection of Cuban teachers expressed satisfaction with their qualifications and competence in the English language. The ministry emphasized that the recruitment of Cuban teachers is rooted in a long-standing memorandum of understanding between the ministry and the Republic of Cuba. This spans over 2 decades. This collaboration has also been instrumental in bridging the gap in specialized education areas, ensuring that Bahamian students receive the best possible education.
Okay, I'm not sure who is closer to the truth, the official statement or the Union of Teachers. But I do recall when Cuban nurses were brought in to assist the Ministry of Health, and there was a similar complaint that the nurses didn't have a good command of the English language, and this was causing a problem in the hospital system. So I don't know. I don't know who closer to the truth because the two of them can't be right. The Union of the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers saying one, the official statement of the government saying something else, and the two don't match. So I'm not sure who is closer to the truth. And I might tell you before, it's 3 sides to each story, your side, my side, and the truth. So in this case, I ain't sure. Because you would think that some kind of due diligence would have been done to ensure that teachers who are brought in from another territory have a good command of the English language, you would think, right? But again, I remember similar complaints when it came to the hospital. The nurses was complaining that, we need help, but these nurses can't speak English. So who's responsible for these things? Who's responsible for doing due diligence to make sure that the people that they are bringing in are able to assimilate into our system because they do have a good command of the English language? I mean, I would think that would be kind of important. Maybe it's just me. But it would be interesting to see who is closer to the truth as it relates to that. Okay, let me read one or two comments and then we're going to go to a break. Lloyd says, Darville is not doing a stellar job. I don't know where that last caller lives. Okay. Another person, Bertha says, Pat, you need to let the Bahamian parents know education is important. The Haitian parents know. They might not be able to speak English well, but they are present to PTA at all times, and they are picking up report cards on time. Andre says Darville is more talk than action. Okay. Frank says, as lucrative as carbon credits proceeds can be, the Bahamas, this administration refuses to inform banks about it. By the way, I've seen a lot of comments asking me to do a show on carbon credits. I'm working on putting that together as we speak. So hopefully sometime next week we'll be addressing that. Lloyd is asking the question, why would they bring teachers in this country that can't speak English? That's stupidity. Again, my side, your side, and the truth. So we just need to know who's closer to the truth. Because Belinda's saying one thing, and the Department of Education saying something else, and the two do not meet. So, yeah. But you would think that that will be a part of the screening process. So I don't know, some slipped in because they knew enough English words to flam and make people think they can speak English. Or if somebody on our side had just fell down on the job and brought in these people without properly vetting them to make sure that they could properly speak English. Either way, I hope they work it out and fast, because Lord knows our education system needs the help. And like somebody pointed out, they already removed the Minister of State, which is putting even more pressure on the minister responsible for education. And so we just need to make sure that we're doing everything within our power to afford our children the best educational experience that they could possibly have, with a view to yielding the best results that the country could possibly experience. All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to continue with our TGIF Open Line show on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GBS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting sugar-free berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM on this TGIF Open Line Show, where you are my co-host and we talk about the week that was. How do you get in? Well, that's easy enough. 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272 are the numbers to call. If you are on WhatsApp, you can reach us by either calling or sending us a message on WhatsApp, and that number is 242-801-0271. 801-0271. We are, of course, streaming live on Facebook, on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. If you haven't already done so, like and share the show. Also coming to you live on YouTube and on Cable Bahamas channel 974. Download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. And a huge welcome to all of you listening by way of radio. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Malcolm.
Hi.
Yeah. Before, you remember, it was the noises. Some they were saying the noises dam is a barrier between the noises dam. They can't understand it's the next thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But now the noises dam is still there. Now we get teachers. Now who would go to Cuba and bring the Cuban teachers who really can't speak a bit of English to the Bahamian children there? I don't know. Something wrong with that. This thing got to make this thing make sense. Maybe they cannot speak it proper like how we speak, but got to make this thing make sense. And my other point, Miss Martin get a lot of pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because in heaven's name, when you set up people over certain district to see the affairs of certain school, like in the south and the north and whatever, how could that individual to not put a teacher for Ragged Island to 13 children. How could you? These people say they're working. They've been doing this for years and years and years, and you still ain't put no teacher there.
Well, one of the reasons why they had to bring in extra teachers is because they don't have sufficient Bahamian
Hey,
teachers.
they don't have it, but at least if you don't have it, at least go to whoever the authority is and say, now listen, I know we need a teacher. Before these teens hit the media, they don't really have to come to the media. But when you don't say nothing, that's why it come. At least go to these people and say, now listen, I know we're supposed to have a teacher. We don't have no teacher. But give me 3 more weeks. That's understandable. But they just don't. You ain't saying nothing. Any Lutra, the same thing. But Miss Martin, I don't know what she need to do. Either she need to rotate these people or make some changes because it only could make her look bad. We don't need this. I mean, come on. When I look at, my mind going because I was sitting down and saw occasional. You know what make him that Atlanta so great when he was there? Those people know their job. They know they got to open up a banquet at a certain time. They know they have to open up a restaurant at a certain time. And everybody was on the beat. But it looked like when we in government, the people they do just what they want to do.
Well, as somebody who has worked in both the private sector and the public sector, I can tell you without a doubt that it's two different cultures altogether. I was just talking to some of my colleagues about this a couple of days ago that you have one culture when you're in the public sector. And in the Bahamas, we just take that to the next level in terms of, and this is not to knock any public servant who is out there working hard and doing a good job, because you do have some stars in the public service. But inefficiency seems to be the norm in the public service. Inefficiency, I'm sorry to say it, and you don't even realize that that's how bad the culture is until you are placed in a private sector environment. I was telling them that when I started to work for the private sector in my time in Bimini, it was almost like a culture shock. And it was a completely different culture. And much of what we are used to in the public sector, they're like, no, no, no. We operate with precision around here. And so I had to quickly adjust and learn how to operate in a private sector environment. Because after so many years in the public sector, you get to think that that's normal. And then when you get placed in a private sector environment, you're like, wow, you got to catch up fast. So, and this is one of the reasons why I think our country is so stifled in so many ways, because we continue to act like this inefficiency and mediocrity. And again, this is not in any way to speak ill of everybody in the public sector, because there are some stars within there. But there's still this level of inefficiency and red tape and mediocrity and just, and it's like, oh my God, how hard is it to get some simple things done?
But Miss Malcolm, it could break, You know what happened? When we put these people in places who's supposed to be running these government office, to direct and whoever, when they allowed the workers under them to come in late, or when you go, say you go into a government office around 2 o'clock, 2:30. Most people, they going to take in the lunch. They're going to pick up the school children. In other words, that is the reason why you have a bottleneck when you go to some of these government departments. Because this set, they take up the bag, they going for lunch. The next set maybe going to pick up the school children. So what you do? When you go to these government office, you got to wait so long online and stuff like that because why? The permanent secretary or whoever's supposed to be running the department is running it slack. That's all it is. Don't tell me things can't change. Anything that man create or made could be changed. But because we don't want to change it, because when we touch certain people, they go call this MP. They call the next one. Oh, you know who sent me here? Things could be changed. This cannot continue on like this.
Caller, let me ask you a question. Why do you think we have yet to go fully digital in the government ministries?
It's because of the people.
Because there are people within those ministries who don't want to go fully digital because then it will expose the inefficiencies. And wherever there's a case of alleged corruption, it'll expose all of that.
Yes, yes. It's so bad, man, that when we see this little small country, man, we cannot get straight. This little small country is just a pimple into some other country and stuff like that, and we struggling because why? Look at social service. Four big elephant: social service, food, energy, and crime. We gotta tackle them because why? The line is so long on social service line from here to Abaco. You got people who are working are still going to social service getting food. The system again is being it's not going right. The minister is supposed to have his ear to the ground to listen to the cry of the people. The minister need to walk the field to see what's going on. Spot check round to some of these social service outlets to see the people them at for 6 o'clock in the morning. Grandma and grandpa got to be out in the cold. They signing the name on one old paper or one book to try to get to be the face and stuff like that. You see, when whoever's the minister, when they go and spot check these things and they sit in the midst and they see how people are being handled, that they can get that same feelings and make some changes because nobody want to change it. The people are suffering out in this country. The poor people are suffering. They are hurting. To go to the food store now with $200, you may come up with a bag and a half of grocery. Why the government don't sit down and say, now, okay, what we can do? We can open up something. We can bring the cat back, or we can let the people go away and bring the food duty free, only dry goods. Because you cannot continue going. One cucumber in the food store costs almost $3.50.
Well, towards that end, let me just say this, and I've said it again, and even though they don't sponsor my show, I can get them a little free plug today. BAIC. That's where you need to go to search for certain things. Now, this is all food that has been grown locally. So obviously it's foods that are in season. So you don't have to worry so much about these foods being genetically modified because these are foods that are grown by local farmers in season. Right now, well, I receive their flyer every week because they send out a flyer every week about what they actually have in that particular week, and it changes from week to week depending on what they have in stock. But I'll give you an example. You talk about cucumbers. Was it last week? Last week. They don't have any cucumbers this week, but last week they had cucumbers at $1.35 per pound. You could walk into BAIC Produce Exchange, and for those of you who don't know where it's located located on right opposite BTVI. I think that's what is it? They're located on what's the name of that street? Fire Trail. I can tell you right now where they're located. But anyway, on Old Trail Road. Okay, you can go in there with $14, $15 and come out with a box full of things.
Mm-hmm.
You go in there on $20, you got enough to buy for you in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you just got to be smart in where you shop and how you shop. Now, the one challenge for a person who is struggling financially, many of them don't have transportation like that. And so they may have a difficult time getting to the produce exchange. The produce exchange used to be located on the dock under the bridge, but they've moved it to where it is now. But if you could find a way to get there, you will save a ton of money than if you buy the same things in the food store.
Mm-hmm.
Farmers markets, you gotta know where to shop.
Yeah.
If you go in a regular food store, a couple of items could well cost you close to $100. And if you got multiple mouths to feed, that ain't sustainable. So you gotta know where to go to shop.
Yeah. My last 2 points before I leave. I think the church should come together and they should just get a big building to even open up a food store or something like that. Even the union, that they could give a discount to their members and stuff like that. But nobody else is trying to do something to really help the people that is working. That is the reason why everybody got a channel go through to certain food store, and that's where the money's going. $92, some of the people them is getting from social service. You can't buy no meat and grocery with that. You can't buy no meat and cornflakes with that or fruits. You gotta try to pick up a couple sardine and tuna and yellow grits and call that.
You gotta know where to shop. Know where to shop. Know where to shop. Because that little bit of money ain't gonna stretch in the food store. It won't. The prices are ridiculous in these food stores. Go ahead.
Ms. Malcolm,
Yeah.
I want to throw a curve ball here. When this curve ball, when the PLP, when this term coming up in 2026, and Mr. Davis, I believe, will retire. I don't know. My four choice of pickup, Shining Star.
What make you think that? Before you go further, what make you think that?
What made you think he wouldn't quit?
Yeah. What make you think he can retire?
I am saying I believe he will. Maybe he will. Okay.
Based on what? You got some information, we don't have it.
No, I don't have no information. I think he'll be. I think a little too old and stuff like that.
And so who that ever stop around here? Or anywhere else, as a matter of fact, from trying to run again. Who that ever stop?
I mean, see, power is something. You should know when to quit to finish enjoying yourself with your family and stuff like that. You see, don't hold on to power too long. You got to know when to throw your hand in and say, this is it. I can do what I have to do. But I believe if this one more time. But my shining stars that I believe is coming up in that party. Now, I don't want you to agree with me. I only can say what I see. I see Wayne Monroe. I see Keith Bell. I see...
As a shining star?
That's what I say. I see.
Yeah, okay.
I see Hannah Martin, and I see a Clay Sweden. Now, that's what I see. Because I have my reason for that. And you may have your reason. No, your pick them is wrong. But that's what I see, who are really strong to stand up against the tide. Thank you so kindly, Ms. Martin.
Well, you obviously wearing some glasses what I ain't wearing. And I can leave that right there. Somebody's asking the question, say, what make you think they go win? Anyhow, I ain't going no further with that. I can leave that one right there because we all entitled to our opinion. All right. So speaking of the poor people suffering, the uh, opposition's chairman, Dr. Dwayne Sands, actually went on record with the media this past week, saying the very same thing, that the poor people are suffering. He was questioning, I guess, whether or not the Progressive Liberal Party was doing an adequate job in meeting the needs of the poor. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
Poor people are catching hell. And it's your policies, your insatiable demand to suck money out of the hands of Bahamians that's causing it. We say to the Cabinet of the Bahamas that you have created a cost of living nightmare, a crisis, not just for the poor who are being pushed below the poverty line, but you are wiping out the middle and the upper middle class. Wow. The Progressive Liberal Party. Can you imagine? The father of the nation, Lyndon Pending, must be rolling in his grave to see what has become of his beloved PLP. Yes, your taxes, your levies, your assessments, your surcharges, your increments, whatever you call them, have made it almost impossible, not just for the average person to make it, but for just about everybody. This has come without much warning, so there's very little way to plan. And now we see gas prices climbing, $6.25 per gallon. My Lord, we need deliverance. But back to the light bills. What relief will you bring, if any? Perhaps you can cut us some slack on the VAT so we can buy some plywood and sandbags or to get some hurricane supplies. This truly is a miserable life. And no, we don't believe your spin doctors who say otherwise. We tired of this miserable life. But you know what? I still say, hold on. Unstoppable change is coming.
These politicians are something else, you know. You think Dr. Sands experiencing a miserable life? Oh, I forgot. He was speaking on behalf of the poor. The same poor who the last prime minister said, next time for y'all. This time, this past year time, this wasn't y'all time. We had to take care of some other people first. Next time for y'all. This is the same party now who raised the VAT, what they said it was going to get rid of. And don't get me wrong, I am not here in defense of the PLP. Don't get me wrong. I am just amazed at the audacity of these politicians to come before us and act like they had nothing to do with the mess what we in. All of y'all finna cut hip. But they just come and act like when they was in power, everything was just perfect. And we were living in utopia. Y'all just forget it. Or y'all think we just forget? Which one? I just it never ceases to amaze me the unmitigated gall these politicians have. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Lady Malcolm.
Ah.
Please come on my head. That's the only thing I call. Just what you said, I called to say, because I can't believe Dr. Sands. Dr. Sands forget what happened with the contract with the hospital, the $2 million contract. Dr. Sands forget why he was unceremoniously dismissed from his office. Dr. Sands forget how bad he do them nurses and them doctors during and right after COVID. He forgetting.
Apparently so.
So where he was when Minister was saying what you say just now.
Boy, I know. Well, I by then I guess Minister done let him go to the cabinet. Remember now, the Minister asked him to step down over the swab thing. So maybe that was, he could argue and say, well, I wasn't there when he said that. But
you know something, Lady Malcolm? You know something? I really don't blame the politicians, I blame us. You know why? because the Bahamian electorate got the biggest JAs in the world. And you still got people will call your show and tell you, oh, the Dwayne Sands or Brave, they doing well. Holy mother of my... Anyway,
thanks for calling. But you're right. I blame them. You find donkey, what you can do? Write it. You need a fool if you don't write the donkey what you see started there in front of you, waiting to be written. So I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I just think they got plenty doggone nerve. Because you would swear that when they was in power, they was doing all the things what he talking about now. What he now is saying, the PLP failing miserably at. And quite frankly, if y'all was doing such a stellar job when y'all was in power, you'd still be in power. The people give y'all walking ticket for the same reason why you now complaining that the PLP need to be given a walking ticket. People ain't stupid. Well, maybe some are. But some of us still got something between our ears. Call welcome to GPS.
Yes, good afternoon, Miss Malcolm. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. Miss Malcolm, I'm so glad that you stated the same Dr. Sands who a chief magistrate condemned, who let fellas into the country to bring in swab, so-called swab, let Betsy Dingman in here to bury a dog.
While Bahamians couldn't get home.
While Bahamians couldn't bury their loved ones, couldn't go to the funeral, when they sit and allow Dr. Menace to be the sole competent authority, this the Dr. Sands we talking about?
I'm saying one.
The one who got the knife in Michael Pintard back?
Well, I ain't going there.
Have a blessed day, Miss Malcolm.
I ain't going there. For the record, I say that. That's what the callers say. Yeah, man. These people got us for fools. They got us for fools. You know, when you sit in opposition, you could see everything went wrong, but all of a sudden, when you sitting in the seat of power, all of a sudden you can't see these things no more. All of a sudden you turn your head the other way. You can't see them no more. It's all good. And then when you get kicked out of office, all of a sudden the scale is fall off your eye like the scale fall off a sore eye on the road to Damascus. All of a sudden the scale is fall off your eye. And now you can see everything went wrong. But you can't remember how you contribute to some of it. You all think people are stupid. And again, I am not sitting here trying to defend the PLP. That ain't my job. That ain't my job. All I'm saying is, if you live in a glass house, you should be very careful of throwing rocks. Because if we want to start to go down all of the challenges that were happening under your administration when you sat in the office, come on. You can't offer constructive criticism without talking about, oh yeah, y'all caused this, y'all caused the decimation of that, and y'all decimating the middle class. What the hell y'all was doing when y'all was in power? And if y'all was doing such a good job, like I said before, you'd have still been there. Y'all couldn't even last for a full 5 years. So what you talking about? When the former Prime Minister himself say, poor people, next time for y'all. So sorry, but we wasn't on y'all run this go. We had some, the piper had to pay. We had some what did they say? Some tickets we had to call in. I hear say that. We had some rich folks we had to take care of first. But next time, it's your time, okay? And you got the nerve to come here talking about the poor people are suffering. They were suffering when y'all was in power too. Coconut boys is getting locked up. People's getting locked up for going to the pump to get water for their family. Y'all think we forget it? I just wish we would stop this foolishness in this country. With these politicians playing games with us. Enough is enough. And I talking to all of y'all. Stop playing us for fools. We're tired of y'all stupidness, man. You have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon. How you doing, man?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm good. So I have a question for you, right?
Yeah.
You think I'm a father. So do you think when our parents used to discipline us when we were growing up, do you think they did it because they didn't do nothing wrong at their time, or they just trying to steer us in a different direction?
Say it again. If they did it because what?
Because they didn't do any wrong, or because they want to steer us in a different direction that they went in?
They wanted to steer us in a different direction.
Okay, so I said that's what you say about Dwayne Chan. So you say because Dwayne Chan did some wrong, that he cannot speak out, being the chairman of his party, to speak out to the in the country today?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay.
What I am saying is that as opposed to coming and talking about what this administration ain't doing when you had an opportunity to do it and you ain't do it, come with some kind of constructive. Hold on, let me answer the question. Come with something constructive. It is not enough for me for you to come and say, what?
That's not the opposition job.
What is their job?
The opposition job is to hold the government feet to the fire. Not to come up with plans and other stuff. It's to hold the government feet to the fire who already have their plans in place.
And you don't see being constructive as putting their feet to the fire?
And that's what he speaks to. And I think like Fred Mitchell, when he was the chairman. So that's what the chairman does.
Yeah, okay. We can agree to disagree today.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Thanks for calling. I appreciate your call. We gotta agree to disagree. Because you telling me, oh, this partying, things rough out there, and they, it was rough when you was there, and you didn't effectively do anything to make the people's life any better. Otherwise, you'd have still been there. So instead of you pointing out to me what I already know in terms of the inefficiencies of this administration, and again, that's all relative, how about you come up with some solutions that you didn't come up when you were sitting in the seat? But they all do this foolishness. They all do it. And it's like, it's nothing more than a game. And that's why this country can't advance. Because this ain't nothing but a game. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Miss Malcolm. How are you today?
Good.
Keep up the good work. And that's the truth. All of them are playing the same game. When this one come in, they complain about that. When the next one come in, they complain. But when they in there, they can't see nothing. Their eyes are so full of scales all over that they cannot say, oh, well, we shouldn't do it this way. Let's do it that way. This is the best way. It's just ridiculous. All of them have something to run on with. But you know what the problem also, what we have too, Ms. Malcolm, and I don't know, we just don't have a third strong party to try help knock out some of them, the F&M and the PL, because that's all it is, just like the Saxons and the Valley, the F&M, the PLP. No other strong one out there. And look at the F&M now, they all mix right up. So, the parties and the other parties out there are trying to pull together. They broke up. After they didn't get place in nothing, they just scattered, like they just disappear. They need to try to have another party to pull together. I don't know if you and C. Allen and Rutherford and all of y'all together form a party together.
Yeah, you need to laugh at that one. That's a joke.
Ms. Malcolm, you're good. I appreciate you. Take care and keep up the good work.
Thank you for calling in. I have to say to people from COI, they can jump all over you because they think they're the third option. And, there's some who think that Lincoln Band Party will win by default. There's people so tired of the foolishness between the two major ones. But, they were saying that in the last election, and yet people still did what they normally do. They stick with their party colors. So, yeah, I don't know what to say, Mom. But you're right. I think if there was a viable third option, um, people would be tired enough of the two major parties to do something to change the system. But, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. But yeah, see people on start comment about COI saying that they're the third option. All right, we gotta take a break. Yeah, time for a break. When we continue, we're gonna on the other side, we're gonna continue to talk about other stories that are making news and stories that are definitely could definitely impact you in your life. And then again, this is an open line show, so if you have anything else you want to talk about that I may not have covered or prepared for, I'm game. Let's do it. All right. We'll be back on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with mailboat to U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Right, welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM on this TGIF Open Line Friday. The numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line 801 0271 8010271. You can call us or message us on WhatsApp. We are, of course, streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Like and share the show, even if you haven't already done so. And we're also streaming live on YouTube and on Cable Bahamas Channel 974. And you can download the app to your smart device and check us out there. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah. Okay. Two things, Michelle. One is I concur with you when you say that both political parties seem to have us for food. I mean, when you look at we celebrated 50 years of independence, and when you sit down and take stock and observe things, I would say for the last 25 years, we have regressed as a people here. We have really regressed as a people. And like you said, the country is not advancing because of the foolishness that goes on. And I think we do need a third party, but we don't only need a third party. We need a third party with candidates that have integrity, that are honest and have integrity. You know? We just don't need a third party to go in there and then they do the same foolishness that's going on now.
Right.
So we need people with honesty, who are honest and have integrity. My next thing is, I have a pet, a peeve. This thing, every morning I look at it. There's a Chinese restaurant right in the mouth of the University of the Bahamas. Takeaway. And I have a difficulty with a takeaway being in the mouth of an institution like the University of Bahamas, and they're selling alcohol. I think they need to take that liquor license from them. You can sell soft drinks and Chinese food, but to see selling alcohol, right? You're encouraging the students to come to a drink.
I hear you.
With that.
I would like to know how they because it wasn't always where those Chinese food stores had liquor licenses. I don't know how they managed to start getting them.
Exactly. And I think one time when Super Value wanted to do something of the sort, the people came down on them hard.
Yeah. But listen, I have another call on the line, so thank you so much for calling, eh?
Okay.
All right, thank you for calling. All right, caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Ms. Malcolm.
Hi.
Yes, good afternoon, Nassau, Bahamas, and every area else in the Bahamas. But since it's a Friday, Ms. Malcolm, on the F&M and the PLP, and they say we need a strong third party. Well, if we don't vote when the election come, PLP gonna win again. And I know that for sure. Just like they trying to get the Democrat Joe Biden them who died from 2018 the win again. That's why they got Trump holding. But Trump was always president. So saying this, Brady Davis and PLP going to be elected again, even if we don't vote, even if we don't do nothing about it, because they control it. And we just got to worry about this dengue fever with this new variant in it, and this lockdown and this restriction, what they're going to bring to us this coming winter. And we got to pay attention of these mosquitoes and the dengue fever and all these things. And a couple of people are already getting sick in Freeport. You might say it's the regular flu, but if it's the regular flu, they're still putting a stronger variant in it for you to get hurt. So that's what I wanted to concentrate on, and we have to stick together. We won't follow in this agenda. Y'all have a good day, Ms. Malcolm.
All right, thanks for calling. Callers, those of you who are listening by radio, I want y'all to know Facebook blowing up. It's all the COI supporters losing their natural mind. What y'all did ain't no third party option. Y'all must live on Mars, yada, yada, yada. We have another call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Michelle Malcolm, how you doing?
Good.
Good show. Seattle Johnson.
Hey, Seattle, what you saying?
Nothing much. I want to call to speak about the third party.
Uh-huh.
The problem we talk about, there's 2 points I want to make, but the first one is that we talk about the third party, and this ties into my first point. The next point I'm going to go back into is that the third party, or who has control, is the people. We back and we say, oh, San say do this, and we say, oh, he should be doing this, he should be doing whatever. But it's us who needs to be making the demand for the changes. We look at the PLP blueprint for change, and we see that as a document full of pretty metaphors and languages. And I would consider it one of the most digital documents put forward so far in the last 15 years. But nothing in it has happened. No mortgage relief, nothing in it has happened. And so we should be demanding, which I think the opposition is somewhat doing, is that they keep the promises that they made. Not simply look at it and say, oh, y'all didn't do it. Well, we judged them for that. And so we are now saying there's a blueprint for change on the table, and we should be demanding of the opposition, the Free National Movement, to hold them accountable for achieving those goals. If we take Mr. Philip Brave Davis' argument that don't look at my past because I was not in the driver's seat, then we should apply that same application to the opposition. Because he's saying, let's ignore the fact of my 2 administration or for the 30 years I've been in Parliament because I was not the driver at that time. So the supporters can't go back and say, oh, what about Minnis? What about Minnis? We knew Minnis was a catastrophic failure and we hope he don't ever return. But at the same time, the PLPs and Mr. Davis can't have it on both sides. They can't.
This is a very strong point you're making. Very strong point.
Right. Because Mr. Davis himself said, don't do it. Because if the past doesn't start at Minnis. The past starts for our 30 to 50 years of governance, if you want to look at it. And so we then could look at Mr. Davis 202 to 207. We could look at his position in opposition. We could look at his 2012 to 2017 and judge them all summarily as catastrophic failure for where we are today. So if we accept, he says, from 2021 to now, judge me, then let's apply the same thing. We can't then beat Mr. Pintard with the stick of Mr. Minnis.
Understood.
We can beat Mr. Davis with the stick of Mr. Perry Christie. But so when you use what Mr. Davis is demanding, then judge him by his own yardstick, which is correct. It says success is not how well you have done based on how bad somebody else has done. Success is how well you have done based on what you are capable of doing. And so if the PLP is capable of fulfilling the mandate that takes at least 3 years based on what I understand for technology, then they need to begin it. But here's a default in that. Mr. Davis and Mr. Mitchell and others have said, we only have 2 more years of governing, and then we have a year of campaigning. Wait a minute. I thought we elected you for 5 years. I was totally unaware that we elected you for 4 years of governing and 1 year of campaigning on my time.
But you know what happened, Alan? They let that slip. That wasn't supposed to come up, but we all know that's what all of them do. All of a sudden in that last year, all kind of capital works and infrastructural development. And I'm saying to myself, you all just remember to start doing these things in the last year because they figure now.
Right, so we have to now tell the Progressive Liberal Party, we're not giving you a 3rd year of campaigning. We're giving you 3 years of work because you already have less than 3 years to do what would take 3 plus or 4 years to do based on the digital calendar. Because I don't care how long it is, you cannot spend 60 minutes in 40 minutes. So there has to be work to done. There's an agenda that has to be revealed. And then we should actually get familiar with the blueprint for change. And then we ourselves must decide the country we want. Become familiar with the Constitution. because these guys have been abusing it for 50 years. Here's an example. We are so distracted even by immigration. I hear people with the coalition running on with immigration, but have the coalition stated clear policies? What has to be done? I mean, I can say the FNM hasn't, but has the coalition? Let's use immigration as an example. We have 202 countries around the world. Shouldn't we have a quota on how many people come from every single country, so that we don't have an imbalance in our country? So shouldn't we have a certain aptitude to say we want some engineers and architects and all these other different things as part of our immigration policy?
Alan, what you're saying would require some level of efficiency, and you know that ain't a strong point.
Right, but I'm just saying that if the coalition wants to be taken seriously, they need to stop being an advocate group and act as a government. Remember, the word opposition means government in waiting, not an activist or advocate group elaborately pointing out what is wrong. It's defining the future. And this is what I'm demanding, not only because we put the FNM in place as our guardian, the co-equal in the House of Assembly. I want them to act like it. I want them to use the powers they have, not tell them shut up because you all made a mistake. I don't care the mistake. You are there right now. I have no other voice in Parliament. I need to hear you. I need to hear your organization, whether we like it or not. The FNM is the counterbalance constitutionally to the PLP, and they have equal power through the PAC and otherwise. And we, if we want good governance, should be demanding that the FNM do their job and demand accountability and everything else, regardless of their performance in the past. Thank you so much.
Very strong points. Thank you so much, C. Allen. Your points are well taken. Okay, we only have a couple of minutes left. I'm going to go to one more clip, and this could affect a whole lot of us if this goes down. The Bahamas Electrical Workers Union voted to strike. Lord help us. Here's that clip.
We have a lot of challenges with safety issues, and it seems as if they're falling on deaf ears. And so this is not, to me, it's not just a vote to strike, but it's a vote to protect our benefits and protect our safety. But more or less, I also see it as a referendum on the current leadership and the CEO here at BPL. It's deplorable that we've come to this point. You know, we gave them 30 days to try to come to the table and not just a bunch of unmeaningless talk or just a bunch of spin, but we asked them to come to the table to try to work it out. And we almost 50 days and nothing happening. And so what are we to do? Just continue under these type of conditions? We have to protect ourselves. Our job is to keep the lights on. We're not going to go down this. I want to go home to comfort too. I want to go home to light. If something happens, I'm going to be discomforted. I want to enjoy the modern facilities that I pay for. I want to have air conditioning, and I want to wash my clothes and wash my dishes and watch my flat screen. I don't want the Bahamian people to be hostage to the disrespect of the company to the workers. They don't deserve it. So we're not going to intentionally do it. But what we're saying is we're not going to put ourselves in harm's way. You know, you want to be comfortable, we're going to be comfortable. We're asking for safe conditions. You imagine it's raining inside just as much as it is outside, and you're surrounded by power cables. People have died in BPL doing jobs and been hurt. This is a type of situation where you don't say, ouch. You end up in the hospital or probably in the grave.
Okay, all y'all praying people out there, get on your knees. Quick, fast, pray. Lord, please let them come to the table and do what they got to do. Because the last thing we need is for electricity workers to go on strike. Oh, Lord, help us, help us, help us. Pray, people, pray. All your praying people, pray that they work this out and fast. Because you talk about people suffering, all of us will be suffering then. Because the heat that has been experienced these past couple of weeks and months ain't nothing to play with at all. So we pray that that they will be able to come to the table and work things out for the benefit of us all. Do Lord, please, people, whoever dragging your feet to make that happen, in the name of Almighty Jesus, please. fine. You wait at that table and start negotiating because we don't need no strike around here. That is not an option. Um, please. So we have a comment from Pandora. Pandora says, remember when they said if power Bahama or BC would melt? If they power Bahama or BC would melt, certainly that. Lloyd says Sierra knows that the PLP and FNM are working together as one. And like he said, the FNM are constitutionally the opposition and not doing a damn thing, but just talk, just as the PLP. All right, we got to take our last commercial break and then we'll wrap things up. Stay with us. This is GPS. Oh, I see where we have a cell phone caller. Okay, let's take the cell phone caller. Sorry, Jason. I'm just seeing the message. Jason, let's go to the cell phone before we go to the break. Caller, welcome to the show. Okay, I guess he's not hearing me. Are we still
Global
on?
Paradigm Shift will return after this. This is Global Radio.
Let's go to the cell phone caller, please, before we take the break.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels, so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
99.5.
All right, real quick, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. Last call of the day.
Yes, I'll be quick. I just wanted to say that I just came and got my prostate test. Doctor's Hospital is running a special for $35 plus that, and it's a blood test. It ain't no poking up the butt or anything like that. And I urge all men to go and get their prostate tested because it's a killer.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. Yeah. Okay. That's my time, guys. Gotta go. Thank you so much for tuning in on this wellness, sorry, on this TGIF Open Line show. What am I talking about? Wellness. That man threw me off just now. On this TGIF Open Line show, listen, everybody, please, let's be safe this weekend. Let's, act like we got some sense. Let's show more love and patience towards one another and to ourselves. God be with us all. Until next week, God willing, I will see you guys. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thanks so much for tuning in, and take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
This is 99.5 Global.